At what I do to hit my macros on a daily basis. So the first thing that I'd like to show you is how to set up my FitnessPal like this. So if you already have my FitnessPal and you don't have meals 1 through 6 on here, how you'll get to it is find your settings first. So I'll go to more, scroll down, find my settings, and then I'm going to click on diary settings right here. And then I'm going to click on customize meal names. And then from here, if yours says breakfast, lunch, dinner, just change these all to meal 1 through 6. And then you should see this on your diary here. The next thing that you're going to do is make sure that your goals are set up in MyFitnessPal as close as possible to the goals that I have set for you in your FitAF app. You can check these by going to nutrition, and then you should click on the middle here where it says nutrients and make sure that your view is selected for day. So now you're going to see my goal for my protein, my carbs, my fiber, and then my fats as well. And then you're going to see how much I have left. Now the goal here is to get your total in here as close to the goals that I have set for you in the FitAF app. So for example, my goal is not 173 protein. It is actually 160. And then my carbohydrate goal is a little bit different here. And then my fat goal is a little bit different here. So my goals are a little bit different than set here, but I know in my head, hey, I'm going for a different goal. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate my goal into 6. So for my example, I'm eating 6 times a day. You don't have to eat this many times a day. I like to eat more often so that I can do smaller meals, because if I'm trying to hit that much protein, eating 3 times a day would absolutely suck. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my goal, which is, I think it's 160, 165, we'll just say 165, divide that by 6. And per meal, I'm going to aim for 27.5 grams of protein per meal. So I'm going to go into each meal and add in my proteins first. So I have egg substitute that I'm going to use. So this is like egg liquid. And I found that this works the easiest for me to hit my protein goals. It's super easy. Just pour this in, cook it, and it's just like egg whites. So you'll see that for 200 grams, 21 grams of protein. So I'm not even going to adjust this at all. And then I'm probably going to do a whole egg. And you can see that all of my history is here, and this is what I normally eat. I stick to around the same foods each day because it makes it so much easier for me to hit my goals. So probably just do 1 whole egg. And then to double check myself to make sure that I'm getting close to my protein goal, go to nutrition, and you'll see here that I hit 28 grams of protein for that meal, so I'm good. I'm going to go back through at the end and add in my carbs, and then at the end I will add in my fats. So for now, I'm going to keep going through this and make sure that I hit my protein goals. For another example, I'm going to have a protein shake. So I like to use UMP, and for my protein shake, probably going to do 1 scoop of protein to hit 20 grams. Maybe I'll do 1.5 to get a little closer to my goal. So I'm at 30. So it's totally okay if you go a little over or a little under your protein goal per meal. Totally fine. If you're a little over on protein, it's a lot better than being over on fats. Awesome. And then to double check, I'm at 58 grams of protein, which if you take this 27, multiply by 2 meals, 55 was the goal. So you can tell here that I am reaching within my goal. Right? I'm going to pause this and go ahead and do the same thing for every single meal. Now, an easy way to do this is if you can't think of what protein to use, go to your protein list in your meal plan or in your nutrition guide, and you can find a list of proteins there to use, and that's how you're going to figure out what to use here. So for example, I will show you what that looks like. So here you can see on the protein list, we're going to try and aim for most of our proteins coming from the eat more foods, and then some of them can come from eat some, and then less from the eat less side. So I'm going to scroll in here, get some ideas. So I've already used eggs. I used some protein powder from the eat some. So next, I think I'm going to use some chicken, and then maybe some salmon, So that will be some fish and probably use some Greek yogurt in there as well. But you can see here, this is how I like to get my protein ideas. And then it's just going to be guessing and checking from there. Now, if you are using hand portions, you can do the same thing just by planning out hand portions. So if you've already looked through your nutrition guide, you'll see on here, and this is for another client, you'll see that for palm-sized amounts of protein, for this client to hit 146 grams of protein, that looks like 5 palm-sized amounts per day. So that could mean that you're eating 5 meals, each with 1 palm of protein. So you wouldn't need to write this out in MyFitnessPal. You just write this out in your notes app, or use the FitAF app and take pictures of your food afterwards. Hopefully this makes sense. I'm trying to keep this as short as possible, but it will take you some time to get through this and to get it down. So I'm going to fill out the rest of my proteins and show you what next to do. All right, so you're going to see here that I am about 10 grams off of protein from my total goal. Remember, my goal is 165, not 173. So you're going to see here that since I'm within 10 grams, I'm going to go ahead and move into adding my carbs in. Now, when you add your carbs in, you're probably going to get some trace amounts of protein that are going to up this so that you get closer to your actual protein goal. You're also going to see that I changed some things around, and I didn't stick exactly to the 27.5 grams per meal goal. And I'll tell you why. So I know for myself that I like having a dessert for meal 6. Now my dessert is a Kodiak cake brownie, and it doesn't have a whole lot of protein. So it only has about 10 grams. So I know that I'm not going to want to add any extra protein to this. So what I did instead was I went up and I added some more protein to meal 3. And then I went ahead and did 2 scoops of protein for my protein shake. So this is something that you'll figure out as you go. Just take some time. You're going to learn what works best for you, and that's how you're going to get through this and make really healthy habits and figure out what you really like. So, and keep in mind that I do have a lot of calories because I am in a surplus right now. So my goal is to gain weight. So that's why I'm at 2,300 calories at the moment. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and hit my carbohydrate goal. Now with this goal, it's going to be a little different. So I'm not going to go on a per meal basis, but if you want to do that, you can for sure. And that's the easiest way to do it. So if my carb goal is, we'll just say it's 250 just for ease of math here. So 250, divide that by 6, and now I'm trying to aim for about 41 or 42 grams of carbs per meal. Now that's an easy way to break it down so that it's really easy to aim for a certain amount per meal. Now another thing you can do here is add most of your carbs before, during, and after your actual workouts. So when you're lifting, this helps you so that you're applying more energy to your actual lifts. So I lift usually in the morning/afternoon. So I'm going to try and have all my carbs in meal 1, 2, and 3. And then I'll probably do a little bit lower carb for meals 4, 5, and then 6 is my dessert. So that one I don't really put a limit on for myself. So to start off with, for meal 1, since I'm having eggs and a whole egg, I'll probably do some hash browns with this. So I'm just going to type in hash browns. I like to use the Simply potatoes or the frozen ones. Frozen ones are a little bit easier. And I'm just going to guesstimate. So if I do 200 grams of this, I get about 37 grams of carbs. So that's perfect. And then whenever I'm adding in all of my carbs, I'm also going to make sure that I have a fruit or a vegetable with each meal. So for this one, I might do something like spinach and mix that in with my eggs. Now, a really easy way to find something like spinach if you don't have something like a barcode to scan. And if you don't have barcodes, totally fine. Just type in USDA after and find the one that's going to be the closest. So for this spinach, I'm not finding any with a check mark. So I might just do regular spinach and go with this one that says a cup. Now, usually with spinach, I don't measure an actual cup. I'll just do a fistful of spinach, and that looks like about a cup. So again, this isn't about being completely right on. Now, if you find that you lowered your calories and you're kind of eyeballing things, maybe you're not using your hand-sized portions, or you're not using a food scale, and you're not losing weight, then that might be the time to implement something like that, because you're probably off in some way. If you have never used a scale or never used hand-sized portions and you're just kind of eyeballing shit and not seeing results, then that's probably why. So you want to get to using something to portion out these things. As you can see, I have usually grams for most of these. Now, just for another example, I'm going to add in with meal 2 a banana. So this will be a really good way for me to get in some fruit. And you can see with this, 28 grams of carbs, and my goal is around 42. So I might add something extra into that to help me to hit that. And I'll probably do some veggies with this too. Can't go wrong with adding some more. So I'll probably make this into a super shake and probably add in some peanut butter too. But we'll do that last because we want to add in our fats last. So I'll continue checking. So now you can see my fibers going up, my carbohydrates are going up. Next, I'm just going to add in the rest of my carbs. And again, if you want something to help you to find your carbs, then you're going to scroll on your nutrition guide. If you don't have a nutrition guide, please let me know. It's located in the fork and knife icon in your FitAF app. So if you scroll in here, you can see all these different options. So as an option for my next meal, I'll probably use some white rice. So you can see white rice in the eat some list. So I'm going to add some white rice to my chicken thigh meal. And I usually do these really easy royal like baggies that you can just pop in the microwave for like 90 seconds and they're done. And then I will measure out a specific amount from there. So you can see here, doing about 100 grams from that bag. And then I'm going to add in some veggies with this. So I like to do asparagus. And I'll probably measure out like 80 grams worth. And again, this is just guessing and checking. As you can see, 80 grams of asparagus, not too bad. So I'll probably do 100. It's only 20 calories and you're getting quite a bit of fiber from that. So add in your veggies when you can. And if you want to learn how to add in more veggies and get some good ideas, you want to be having at least a cup of each color from here. So you can see I stuck to mostly greens. I need to be adding in some different colors here for sure. So that's something that I need to work on a lot. Again, going back, kind of checking where I'm at. So I'm at 160 carbs. I'm going to continue adding things until I get closer to my goal. Then I'll check back with you in a second. All right, so now you're gonna see I added all of my carbs in and all my veggies. So I also went through and deleted out the whole egg just because I was going over my fat with some of the things I was adding in here. So it is guessing and checking, but as you can see, like as you get faster at this, it makes it so much easier. And this is why I don't like to do this every single day. And I think it's a complete waste of your time if you're doing this every single day. So what you wanna do is find foods that you really enjoy and make a list of these in MyFitnessPal like I just did, and then eat the same thing for a week straight and see how you feel. So you're gonna notice what things taste good to you, you're gonna notice what things get boring to you, and then just stick to it, and the next week you can change those things out. So I promise you that if you give yourself 7 days worth of doing a meal plan that you make yourself, you're going to figure out all those things from that. So if you're not doing that now, I highly recommend doing this. As your coach, highly recommend it. Now going to your nutrition, you're gonna see that I am 10 grams over on my protein. I'm low on my carbs, and then I'm a little over on fats, which is cool. That's totally fine. Now I still wanna be within 100 calories of my goal. And since my goal is to gain, I wanna be closer to my 2300. So you can see here that I'm at 2194. So now I'm going to add in my fats. And I do a lower fat approach for myself. So I'm not going to be adding in a whole lot. The only thing I'm going to add in is peanut butter and do about 2 tablespoons of that to my super shake. And now I'm 84 calories over, totally fine. And I am over on my fats by 18 grams, but that's okay because my carbs are lower and my calories are where they need to be. So now you can see I have this entire meal plan made up. All I have to do is meal prep this and copy and paste this to my other days. So I'm going to click on the pencil icon, select all, And if you don't have the pencil icon, click the edit button, because this is on an Android, not on an iPhone. And then I'm going to copy to date, and I'm going to copy this all to tomorrow. Perfect. So now you can see I have my meal plan for tomorrow. And if your shit is synced up to Fitiv app, then this will come up for tomorrow as well. And then I'm going to copy this and also copy it to Friday. So now I have my meal plan for the next 3 days. All I have to do is execute this, right? So tomorrow, for this to be a lot easier for me, what I can do is I can make my super shake tonight whenever I eat my dinner. I can make the chicken thighs and chicken breast. I can pre-cook that, make that tonight or on my meal prep day. And then the salmon I can also make on my meal prep day. So that way, these meals don't take me a very long amount of time. All I have to do is pull out the meats from my kitchen or from my fridge and just put it on with the rest of my meals and reheat. And that is how I personally meal prep and how I recommend all of my clients to meal prep as well. And if you'd like, I'm going to show you a hand portion guide doing this same exact thing. It's literally the same, but even simpler. So instead of going through and putting things into my FitnessPal, I just use my notes app and I put 1 palm of protein for meals 1 through 6, and then I write that down. Now, if you've done a coaching call with me where you've built out a plan like this, then you know how to do that. It's just about figuring out what works best for you, guessing and checking. And whenever I say checking after a week. So a full week of applying this to yourself and then seeing how you feel at the end and then reflecting on it, like what worked, what didn't work, make adjustments. If you have any questions on this, just comment below.